Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahabashai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say shalom to Yaakov and Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, Just Because They Ain't Right Doesn't Mean You Can Sacrifice Them to Molech. Alright? So, once again, just because they ain't right doesn't mean you can sacrifice them to Molech. And bear with me 1 minute while I grab a drink. And this comes from an article. Alright, and you brothers and the sisters and in the know, well, know what this is talking about, sacrificing to Molech. For you that don't know, well, Lord willing, it could be edifying and you'll gain some insight and information upon it. Now, this is an article from Fox News. It says, Massachusetts Democrat told to step down after abortion comments leave parents irate. All right, after they leave parents irate. Now, Democrats, for those of you who don't know about the political side, all right, Democrats are the ones that generally, they're pro homosexual, all right, they're pro abortion, all right, so on and so forth. Not that either of them are right, all right, because you got the Republicans that a lot of them tend to be racists, all right. They're both the same thing. They're just division, all right. They're just a division that Babylon's created, but for the most part, the Democrats are the ones you see with the pink hair, walking around at the Mo festivals, the Pride festivals, all right, anti-gun, pro-abortion, all right, they're pro-abortion, pro-Mo, all right, they're the ones that are at the lead of that, well, it's really the elites that are doing it, but they're the ones that the elites are using at the forefront of the transgender agenda as well. But we're not going to talk too much about that because we know how Esau is. They'll take the lesson right down, all right? But they shouldn't take it just for mentioning it. We didn't say anything about it. We're just saying that's who it is, Democrats. All right, it says, this is eugenics in 2023 America, says student for life president Kristen Hawkins. So let's go ahead and, I don't know if I want to play any of the video. I do at the same time I don't. We'll play a little bit of it. I don't want to get a copyright strike. We'll just play a little. Let's see what it has to say. Get rid of that. What do we got to wait? 3 seconds? All right, we can wait that. What's it say? All right, it says, on February 7th, 2023, Michael Hugo, a Democrat official in Framingham, Massachusetts, complained about the cost of special education for children with disabilities who are not aborted. So basically, he's talking about, special kids. All right, back in the day, they used to call them retarded. All right, special, retarded. All right, special needs. All right, there's many different names. They change it every like 5 to 10 years because one term gets too outdated. I think the current one's special needs still. But, yeah, so the Democratic official was basically complaining, saying, look, special ed's a lot of money. You should just abort them, is what he's saying. Let's see here.
Sonographer misdiagnosed as a heart defect, an organ defect, spina bifida.
So anybody with these, they're saying they should just abort.
That becomes a very local issue because our school budget will have to absorb the cost of a child in special education, supplying lots and lots of special services to children who are born with the defect. So it's our hope that the council tonight will pass this ordinance.
He was trying to convey that equipment or individuals that incorrectly read sonograms are unwelcome in Framingham because that increases the chance of an incorrectly read sonogram that could result in the birth of a child with a disability or a congenital heart defect. and that would mean that they would be an expense to Framingham in education because they would need services. I heard about what happened because my best friend happens to have Down syndrome, and at first I was like, no way, no way he said that. And I actually had to look it up to see that it was unfortunately true.
I saw what Michael had said as a personal attack against my own children. That my children who had special needs were not worth the expense in the school system.
We don't need to really play too much. You get what they're saying. Basically, all right, we can read a little bit of it. It says, a local Democrat official in Massachusetts is facing calls to step down after complaining about the cost of special education for children with disabilities who are not aborted. Michael Hugo, the chair of Framingham Democratic Committee, made remarks during a city council meeting when discussing proclamation about access to abortion and crisis pregnancy centers in the city. He said pregnancy centers could misdiagnose a defect in a baby in the womb, leading to them being born and becoming a strain on a school budget. It's all about money. He issued a public apology after 10 days of backlash. Took him over a fucking week. Days of backlash from members of his own party and parents of special needs children. I saw what Michael had said as a personal attack against my own children, said Cheryl Goldstein. Wonder why your kids came out the way they did, Cheryl Goldstein. It says the chair of Framingham Disabilities Commission that my children had special needs were not worth the expense in the school system. All right, so that's basically what's being said. He says, you should just abort them. Now, regardless if they ain't right, all right, they're slow, they're special needs, they're missing an arm, they're missing a leg, they're missing a part of their jaw, there's something wrong with their heart, there's something wrong with their lung, there's something wrong with their internal organs in some way. They got missing one ear, they're missing one eye. Doesn't matter if their face is caved in and they look like a pug, all right? It doesn't matter, all right? That doesn't mean you can sacrifice them, all right? That doesn't mean you can sacrifice them to Molech, all right? That doesn't mean you can abort them. That does not mean you can pass them through the fire, all right? You got it, you get it, and you're not supposed to do that even if you're an Edomite, all right? You Jakes especially aren't supposed to be doing it, but no one's supposed to be doing that, all right? You're not supposed to be doing that, okay? Because it's for Jake, one, that's worshiping a heathen god, and the other thing is it's murder, man. It's still murder. It doesn't matter how slow they are. I don't care if they say, yeah, this baby, once it comes out of the womb, it's got a month to live. You still can't abort that baby. That baby's got to come out, and guess what? It's got to live for that month. Why? Because the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai wanted it that way. Why? Because the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai wanted it that way. All right? If the Most High did not want it to happen, that baby would not have been put inside of you. You would not gone through that torment, that grief, that anguish. All right, because guess what? On top of this, and I don't have any scriptures for this, but we're going to have to grab some, Lord willing, is also, guess what? That's judgment for you, all right? And it's also, say if you have a Down syndrome child, all right? Some of them move out on their own, depending, all right? Some, all right? There have been Down syndrome children that move out on their own, or not Down syndrome children, but Down syndrome adults. All right, some of them can make do, but some of them really can't, learn like that. All right, and they end up having to stay with you for the rest of your life. Now, guess what? Not only is that judgment on that child because the child ain't right, they must have done something in their past lives to receive this judgment. All right, and it would be wrong of you to abort them because they have to see this judgment through. All right, but if you did abort them, that is still, still the Most High knew that was going to happen, but you're in the wrong for that. Okay, but that's the judgment that they are sent here to play out. All right. That's what happens because your judgment happens on earth, okay? Your judgment happens on earth, all right? When you go before the judge, when you die, all right? And then your next life, all right? Your sentence, so to speak, your prison sentence, all right? Because we're in captivity, we're imprisoned essentially right now, just not to the physical sense where we're in chains, all right? We're customly, all right, the customs of Babylon, we're in chains, but we're not in physical chains. We're in chains through laws and what we can do, what we can't do, what we can say, what we can't say, where we can go, where we can't go, what we can own, what we can't own. We're in chains that way, but we physically don't have a ball and chain and fetters of iron around our neck anymore. Now, at one point we did, but now we're still in captivity, we're still imprisoned, but it just doesn't, to the average eye, it doesn't seem so, all right? But we're all owned, we're all still slaves, all right, through the system, all right, through your birth certificate, all right, through all that, all right, your identification, all right, your birth record, all that, all right. That's all. Marriage, all right, marriage license, or it's all through the state. It's all through the government, man. Okay, so we're sent here to pay a punishment, all right, and we're in captivity, and that's how we pay our punishments here. We live out our judgments here. All right. So if you were born with no legs, if you were born with no arm, if you were born slow, all right, no matter how high on the spectrum of mentally handicapped, mental retardation, special needs, whatever you want to call it, all right, whatever you want to call it, no matter how high or how low you are, all right, you were sent to serve out that punishment, all right. And there's points where it's like such a small defect, like autism, that can or cannot be judgment. Some people with autism are just fine, and they don't really, you don't even tell. But then again, you realize Esau's spectrum is all messed up, the way that they say, oh, this person is this and this person is this, and Esau doesn't know what's going on. But the people that are very clearly mentally impaired, those people, they were sent to pay a judgment. They were sent to pay a judgment. That's judgment for them. And guess what? You as their parent, all right, now having a 42-year-old grown little boy, really, all right, living in your house, all right, that you still have to clean up after and to wipe down, and you have to feed because they can't really clothe themselves. They can't really make food for themselves. All right, they can't drive. All right, they can't go out in public by themselves. It's like having a 4-year-old child for the rest of your life, really. Okay, so that's not only judgment for them, but judgment for you as well. Okay, that's judgment for you as well. So just because they ain't right, all right, just because they're special needs, just because they're mentally handicapped and mentally retarded, doesn't mean that you can sacrifice them to Molech. Okay, so let's go over and grab Leviticus 18 and 21. And Salakia, bear with me while I pull this up on my phone. All right. Bear with me. I took the opportunity to grab a drink as well. All right, so let's where are we here? Leviticus 18 and 21. All right. It reads, now Leviticus 18, if you read up, Leviticus 18 speaks of laws, all right, things you can do and things you can't do, all right, all the way down if you're reading it, all right, and it's the same law where you get, verse 22, it says, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind, as abomination, all right, it talks about not lying with beasts, all right, telling you not to be defiled with those things, all right, telling you to follow after Yahweh Shem Shai, all right, that's what you're supposed to do. If you go up to 1, what does it say? It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say to them, I am the Lord your power. And after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments, and keep my ordinance, and walk therein. I am the Lord your power. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. Okay, so these were laws that were given. Okay, these are what you should do. This is what you should not do. All right, it doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter if you're in Egypt or if you're in Canaan. It doesn't matter if you're in Babylon or if you're in Greek or Macedonia. It doesn't matter if you're in Peru. It doesn't matter if you're in Brazil. It doesn't matter if you're in Africa. It doesn't matter if you're in a fucking hut in the middle of no man's land that no one knows. It has no name. It does not matter. Okay, those statutes that are in that area, they don't mean nothing to you. All right, you are to follow the Lord's command. All right, Yahweh Shem Shai's command. All right, doesn't matter if you're in Greek and should I follow Greek? No. What if I'm in English? Should I follow? No. What if I'm in Babylon? Should I follow? No. All right, you are to follow what the Lord said, and that is it. It doesn't matter if Babylon says you can do it, because guess what? Babylon says is fine. Apparently, Babylon says it's fine if your child's mentally handicapped to pass him to the fire to Molech. Babylon says it's okay that if you're a man and dressed like a woman. Babylon says it's okay for 2 women to get together. Babylon says this. Babylon says that. Babylon says you can have a big old pork dinner. Babylon don't know a goddamn thing, all right? So you're not supposed to follow after the customs of Babylon or Greece or Egypt or any of these customs. And mind you, Jake, that's one of the reasons why we're in the position we are now, all right, is because we were falling after heathens and picking up heathen customs and not doing what the Lord said. If we would have just listened to what the Lord said, we would have been in a better place. But the Lord knew we weren't going to do that. So what are we in right now? A captivity and a learning lesson. This is a learning lesson to us, Jake. All right. So if you go down to 21, and that's the point for this lesson. All right. Leviticus 18:21. All right. It reads, "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed." Let's pause. Let's go and get Leviticus 18:21 and over here. All right, in the Blue Letter Bible. And let's see what it has to say. There it is. "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am the Lord." So there you go. That was Leviticus 18:21. Okay, so it's going to have the Hebrew. So let's get any of thy seed. All right, so any of thy seed. What's the word for seed? All right,
Strong's H2233. Zerah. Zerah.
all right, zerah. All right, now seed. It says the King James Version translates Strong H 2223 in the following manner: seed, 221 occurrences. Now, child, 2 occurrences. All right, and that's really what it's speaking of: your seed, your offspring. Okay. So, as it says, definition 1, it says seed sowing offspring. All right, down in C, it gets it even more plain. It says semen virul. All right, so let's grab what this word means. It says virility, having a strong sex energy, sex drive, typically used of a man. So a man, and the man's the only one that produces semen. But there you go. Definition C, it says semen, viral, so that's your seed. All right, and what comes through the act of semen going up into the woman? All right, what happens? All right, it gets fertilized if that's the case, or if it gets accepted, or if the Most High wants that to happen, and then guess what? It turns into what? A baby. All right, so what's a baby? Definition D, offspring, descendants, posterity, children. All right, there you go. So, not that we should have had to get that. You should know what seed means, but if you didn't, no harm done. If you're new, hey, maybe you didn't know. Any of thy seed. So So you shouldn't let any of your seed do what? Pass through the fire to Molech. Now, there's no definition for fire here. All right, there's no definition for fire, but what we're gonna do is let's go to let's look at what Molech. All right, so it says pass through the fire to Molech. Now we're gonna grab Strong's 4432. All right, what does it say? It's pronounced Molech. We don't have to play it. We'll play it anyway.
Strong's H4432. Molech. Molech.
All right, here we go. Now, no. Listen here. Listen here. All right, check this out. We're going to leave this up because this is important. Molech means king, it says. Definition A. Now listen here. It says, the god of the Ammonites and the Phoenicians, to whom some Israelites... Whoa. Did we not just mention a heathen custom? It's a heathen custom to do that? I believe we did. The god of the Ammonites and Phoenicians. Okay, so that wasn't Israel's god. All right? But what happened? To whom some Israelites sacrificed their infants in the valley of Hinnom. In the valley of Hinnom. Israelites sacrificed their infants there in the valley of Hinnom. Got it? One more time. Israelites sacrificed their infants there in the valley of Hinnom. Let's go ahead and stop. There was a lesson that was put out about by the Apostle Ramallah just recently. Now, this is where you get hell from. All right? This is where you get hell from. Now, let's pause. Let's pause. Let's go over. We're going to come back to that. We're going to go and get Jeremiah 32 and 35. Let's grab it. Jeremiah 32 and 35. All right. It reads, now, because this is what they did. The Israelites did this. And like it says, it mentions Judah here. And they built the high places of Baal, which, now, where does it say again? Which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Keep Hinnom in mind, all right? Keep Hinnom in mind. All right, we're going to keep that one up so you can got it. It says, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not. Neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination to cause Judah to sin. Okay, now, let's go back. All right, let's grab this, Jeremiah 32 and 35. Now let's grab this, right? Let's see if it gives us a definition for fire. Okay. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Let's put up Hinnom too. I want to see what that says. To cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire. Nothing for fire. Unto Molech, it's got Molech, which I commanded them not, neither came it to the mind. All right, we can leave off it there. All right, we're going to jump over the definition of Hinnom. It says, it just says Hinnom, lamentation. All right, which if you get, what does lamentation mean? Lamentation, the passionate expression of grief or sorrow, weeping. Okay, valley, deep and narrow ravine with steep rocky sides located southwest of Jerusalem, separating Mount Zion to the north from the hill of the Ezel Council and the sloping rock plateau of the plain of Rephaim to the south. Okay, it says Hinnom, probably a foreign origin. Hinnom, apparently a Jebusite. All right, Hinnom. Okay, that's all we got for that. All right, but there you go. We'll leave that up because the other one, what did it say? It mentioned Hinnom. And then if you go to Moloch, or Molech, however you want to pronounce it, or Molech, as it says on here, it says, the god of the Ammonites and Phoenicians to whom some Israelites sacrifice their infants in the valley of Hinnom. Now we're going to stop and go and grab the word. Now what we can do is, as Apostle Ramallah did, we can actually go and grab Matthew 5 and 22. Now it says, now check this out now, because now you're going to understand where hell gets from. We're doing a lesson inside of a lesson, all right? Because this is, it's good information. It says, but I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council, but whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Hellfire. Now let's go and what is, because hell, speaking of hell, let's go and get hellfire. What's the word for hellfire? All right. No, not fire, but hell. Hell. He's going to hell. What does hell mean? Let's go. What's this word over here?
Strong's G 1067. Gehenna. Gehenna.
Gehenna. All right, well, I was saying Gehenna. But let's go down here, Gehenna. Boom. It kind of wipes it out right here. It says, hell is the place of future punishment, called Gehenna, or Gehenna fire. So that's all you need. Hell is a place of future punishment. Hell is a state. All right, it's a place. All right, it's a place. Hell is the place of future punishment. For example, hell is Babylon the Great, because that's where it's going to be future punishment. But hell is the grave. Hell is a physical place, not a physical place. It's a place of future punishment. All right, really, hell is the act of judgment. Okay, but as it says, hell is the place of future punishment. All right, because that's what it is. It's a place of future punishment. It's not speaking of down in hell where you go and burn for eternity, because that couldn't make any sense, because all spirits return to the Father, do they not? So that wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't make any sense. But it says hell is the place of future punishment, called Gehenna, or Gehenna fire, that was originally in the valley. Listen, that was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where what? Where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. So hell is a place where the wicked get destroyed. Okay, it doesn't mean you go down and there's a little red man poking your ass. All right, hell is going to be Babylon the Great. That's where a lot of these people are going to see out their destruction, because hell is the place of future punishment. All right, it's the grave. It's the act of, you know, judgment being played out. All right, says that's all we can get from there. But if we go and get, as the Apostle Ramallah did, we go over here to the Zandervan Bible Dictionary. Listen here. It says, it's not what we want. It says, can we, how do, there we go. That's what we wanted. Gehenna. All right. Valley of Hinnom, it says in the Greek New Testament, this name refers to the final place of punishment of the ungodly and is usually translated hell. The word, listen, the word derives from the Hebrew phrase for valley of Ben or Ban Hinnom, identified with the Wadi Rababi. All right, and as Apostle Ramallah said, because you know that the Ishmaelites took over that place. It says just south into the west of Jerusalem. See Hinnom Valley of. It says this ravine formed part of the border between the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, and it was still recognized as the border after the exile. Listen here. Here kings Ahaz and Manasseh sacrificed their sons to Molech. All right? It's also the place where people were sacrificing their children to Molech. For this reason, Josiah defiled the place. After referring to the idolatrous practices, Jeremiah prophesied a great slaughter of the people there and of Jerusalem. Now listen here. After the Old Testament period, Jewish apocalyptic writers began to call the Valley of Hinnom the entrance to hell. Later, hell itself. They just started calling it hell, but guess what it's speaking of? It's speaking of the Valley of Hinnom. Why? Because it's a place of future punishment. That's where people were going and getting sacrificed and killed, and it was a place where all the dead bodies were thrown into, all right? And they would sacrifice their children to, okay? It says, in Jewish usage of the 1st century A.D., Gehenna referred to the intermediate state of the godless dead, and as Apostle Ramallah said, giving credit where credit's due, all right? They're basically speaking, now it's going into speaking of purgatory. Okay, but it says there is no trace of this sense in the New Testament. The New Testament distinguished sharply between Hades and the intermediate bodiless state of, the intermediate bodiless state. That's the part where Apostle Ramallah was speaking of. That's like purgatory. All right, they started twisting it and bending it until it became, the Christian hell as it is today, which is largely based off of Dante's Inferno. It says the intermediate bodiless state, and Gehenna, the state of final punishment. There you go. Gehenna, the state of final punishment. All right? The state of final punishment. The place of future judgment. The place of future punishment. Salakia. So the state of final punishment, the state of future punishment, that's what it is. All right? Hell isn't a place with a rocky cavern where everything is all lava and there's a bunch of little red demons running around like a bunch of little rats, all right? And they all got little pickaxes and they're poking in the ass, and there's a big guy named Satan. You're gonna burn for eternity. No, that doesn't exist. All right. It says the word occurs 12 times, and you're going to the devil. So what? Satan gets to have spirits now? No, they all return to the Father. Satan isn't the Father. Who's the Father? The Most High. They're going back to Him. All right. And He dwells in the heavens. Where's heavens? Up. They're not going down. What are you talking about? It says the word occurs 12 times in the New Testament, always translated hell. There you go. ASV, RSV margin, Gehenna. 11 times it is on the lips of Yahushai as the final punishment for calling one's brother a fool. For adultery, when the severeth measures have not been taken to prevent commissions of this offense, and a warning about whom to fear, and others, a hypocrite is called son of hell, who cannot escape being condemned to hell. James speaks of the tongue as a fire set on fire by hell. Now listen here. It says a fire was kept burning in the Valley of Hinnom to consume the garbage deposited there by residents of Jerusalem. So it was a place of burning, all right, that they would have, so they could just burn things. It says terms parallel to Gehenna include fiery furnace, fiery lake, lake of burning sulfur, eternal fire, hell. It says here the Greek text has Tartarus, a name for the place of punishment for the wicked dead. So you can see how it progressively got more and more skewed, all right, from the Ish people and people that didn't know what the hell they were talking about. All right, so that's a lesson inside of a lesson. We wanted to grab that. All right, so basically, what does that mean? That means when you sacrifice your children, you're passing them through the fire of Molech, which is you're sending them to hell then. Okay, because hell is a place of future punishment. All right, and that was in Gehenna originally. Well, not Gehenna. That's speaking of the word Gehenna, which is speaking of the valley of Hinnom, where what the God it says, what Molech was, where they sacrificed to Molech, and who was Molech? It says Molech was the god of the Ammonites and Phoenicians, to whom some Israelites sacrificed their infants in the valley of Hinnom. You are not supposed to be doing that. All right, you're not supposed to be sacrificing your children. All right, to Molech. All right, that's not what you're supposed to do. All right, that's off. You're not supposed to do that. Okay. Now let's get we're just gonna probably continue this and what do I want to do here? No, we'll yeah, we're gonna continue it through the blue letter. Let's get Leviticus 22. I don't use the blue letter all too much. We'll get into it. There we go. Leviticus 22. It says, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. All right, that's your punishment. That would be your hell, would it not? That would be your place of future punishment. It would be in the future after you did that. And what would happen? You would be put to death by getting stoned. All right, and we don't mean rolling up a blunt and putting on Project Pat. All right, I'm talking about getting rocks thrown at your head. All right, so that's what would happen to you. All right, now this next scripture we're gonna get, it's gonna become a stumbling block to some people. Ooh, you just said you can't kill. Oh, you said you can't kill. Oh. You know, because that's what's supposed to happen to that person. Now, Exodus 20 and 13, it's going to be a stumbling block to some people. Thou shalt not kill. Well, you just said that you should be dragged out and then stoned. Well, that's a punishment, all right? And that's a righteous punishment, all right? But you shouldn't just kill to kill, all right? There's a few things where you would be put to death. You would be dragged out in the city center and people would stone you to death over. You know, Moism, all right? Murder, all right? Such as the case, you know, sacrificing sacrificing to idols, all right, Slakia, you know, brain got messed up. So there you go. There's several occurrences. But you shouldn't just kill to kill. That means, I don't like my neighbor, I'm going to kill him. No, you can't do that. I don't like that guy. He was talking shit about me. I'm going to kill him, man. No, can't do that, all right? But there are things biblically. Now, should we be doing it now? No, why? Because not all things that are lawful to us are expedient, roughly paraphrasing, all right? So there's certain things that even though it should be done, such as Moses being put to death, such as people, people that were sacrificing to Molech, all right, they should have been put to death, all right. And there's a lot of other occurrences of people, adulterers. I forgot adulterers. That's one of the big ones. They'd be put to death. But are we gonna do that now? No, because guess what? If you come home and your wife's cheating, all right, and you take out your 357 and you blast both of them, bam, bam, and they're laying there in a pool of their own blood. Guess what? Guess who's going to jail? Guess who's going to prison for the rest of their life? You. All right. Even though biblically, you should have been able to do that, all right, because the man that labeled the woman as well as the woman needs to be put to death unless she screamed out and she was being, you know, raped, all right, unwantingly, and she had a man, she help, you know, but if she didn't cry out, she'd be put to death too. All right, so don't worry, ladies. If you cried out like that, hey, you'd be fine. But you know, if you just I'm fine with it, no, you'd be put to death as well, the man as well as the woman. All right, so but biblically that would be allowed. But now, you go to prison for the rest of your life. You go to prison for the rest of your life. All right. Just like we got to watch ourselves, like, you know, biblically, well, in our house, guess what? Not even biblically as well, but we can do it now, is correcting our woman, all right? Saying, hey, don't ever talk to me like that. I don't like how you speak to me like that, all right? You better stay in your place. You can do that at home. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to watch yourself when you're out in public, because why? This place is a simp society, all right? We live in a simp society. That was like, hey, you better be nice to that woman. And you might get shot or killed because you told your woman to stay in her line, all right? Because women here are allowed to run rampant and do whatever they want, all right? Same thing with your children. Guess what? You're supposed to parent your kids, but be careful out in public, you brothers and sisters that have kids. Be careful, because you got to realize what the times we're in right now, are dangerous times. We're in evil times. All right, people are all fucked up in the head. All right, and slack you for the swearing. People are all messed up in the head. Okay. And then, hey, you better not lay a hand on that child. Well, he deserves to get spanked. You realize what he just did? He went in that store and he knocked everything off the shelf. He picked up a glass bottle and threw it at one of the cashiers. All right, he spit on the floor and proceeded to smash everything that he could see. He opened up the whole soda aisle and was throwing things on the ground. So he deserves to get his ass whooped. You shouldn't hit him. He doesn't deserve that. Yes, he does. He deserves to get his ass beat. Yes, he does. All right, but you maybe not do it right there. Maybe not do it right in the parking lot. Maybe wait until you get home. All right, and there's another thing. Maybe do it on a place where the teachers won't be able to see it, because guess what? You have a red arm. Have you been getting beaten? And the kids, they can get demons on them because they're hanging around a bunch of demonic ass kids. Yes, he beats me. My father hits me. And then guess what? Your ass is fucked up now. So we got to watch out, because these times are evil, man. People are all fucked up. It's a simp society. People are all simped out. All right. All simped out, all right? They as the scriptures say, women and children rule over them, all right? Women and children rule over them. That's exactly what happens, all right? And you're the bad guy if you you're the bad guy if you do anything about it, all right? We live in a society where a guy can dress up as a girl and touch on little boys, all right? And if you say something about it, you're the fucked up one. What the fuck kind of society is that, man? Leave him alone. He's a map. He can't help it. No, fuck that. That man's a fucking abomination. He should be put to death. Okay? Leviticus 26:1, continuing on, enough with the rant. Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your power. Yet you still have, who are one of the most, who gets the highest number of abortions? The so-called black woman. All right? And why is that? Why do you think that is? All right, because who do you think the system was set up for? The so-called black woman. All right, who do you think? Who is the lady? Margaret Sanger. All right, if you look into her, Margaret Sanger. Let's look at some of her quotes. All right, and these Edomites love Margaret Sanger. She's a feminist icon. All right. She's a feminist icon, all right, and these women love her. And guess what? You Jake women that are following this wave of feminism, guess who created this wave of feminism? White women, all right? And guess what the white women were following after? Margaret Sanger. And guess what Margaret Sanger used to do? Oh, here's a picture of her at a KKK rally. There you go. It says, Sanger delivers burning speech. Local KKK gals hang on every word. They loved her. She did KKK rallies, man. It says, the most merciful thing that a family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. Quote from Margaret Sanger. Let's see. What else do we have about black people? Here's Margaret Sanger. Oh, and who was Margaret Sanger? The founder of Planned Parenthood. She said, we want a world freer, happier, cleaner. We want a race of thoroughbreds. Okay? So she wanted only white people, all right? It says, here it is, eugenics is the most adequate and thorough avenue to the solution of racial, political, and social problems. They didn't want so many black people, all right? What else do we got? And here's another. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, but that's what it was. They didn't want the word to go out. They still wanted to do it. They just didn't want the word to go out. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess the full quote was, the most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And what do you do? She wasn't racist. She went to fucking KKK rallies. And slack you for the swearing again, but she went to the KKK rallies, man. And who do we have? People like Hillary Clinton. I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Of course you do. Of course you do. Here we go. Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood on October 16th, 1916, in order to eliminate what she thought were inferior races like Orientals, Jews-ish people, okay, because they don't even understand their own self, okay, and blacks, She referred to them as human weeds. All right. It said her father was the village atheist. She died an alcoholic and a drug addict. Good. Good. Okay. Good. That's her judgment. All right. So there you go. All right. But so when you're doing all this sacrificing to idols, all right, and doing all that, and doing all this stuff to Molech because he's an idol, all right, bowing down into it, all right, setting up an image of stone, and that's what they did. They'd actually create a statue where they would actually insert the baby into a pit. It was like if you can look it up. And it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. This is just how they show it. Like they show it like a physical god that's being handed to. No, it was like this. All right. If that would come in. Let me go to images. Yeah. So here we go. This is a better accurate depiction right here. So here you go. So there was down here was a pit of fire. Right, you can see the wood in there, and it's created a bonfire. Now up here, these were little containers, all right, and that's where you would put your infant, all right, and that's where they would burn them. It would burn them to death, all right. So what is that? Let's go back to Leviticus 6:26. It says, "You shall make you no idols nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image," which that is, "neither shall you set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your power." All right, and the modern version of, passing your seed to the fire to Molech is going to a Planned Parenthood, all right, and getting it ripped out of you, all right, that you're sacrificing it that way, all right, that's, and if you don't buy it, you don't believe it, whatever then, all right, that we're not going to stand over here and force you to believe it. Okay, but this is Exodus 21 for you Jakes. You're not supposed to be doing this, all right? And also realize every time you think, oh, I'm gonna get an abortion, you N-dubs, all right? You black women think, oh, I'm gonna get an abortion. Guess what? It was set up to exterminate the black population. And the black woman, she likes that BLM. Oh, black woman power, black woman power. But here you are, you're falling after, you're doing a custom that was created by Margaret Sanger, who invented it to exterminate black folk. You dummy. But, didn't expect you to know anything. Exodus 21, it says, "And God spoke," not God, Salakia, "and the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon their children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." And what do you mean, the third and fourth generation? I thought the son shall not bear the iniquity of the father. He's not. This is speaking of the third and fourth generation. Why? Because every third and fourth generation, you come back. So that's not your father, that's your spirit, all right? Say if I was to die today, all right, or you were to die today, all right, and well, it would be a little bit different. So let's say we're in right now it's 1920, all right? It's 1920, all right? And me and you were still alive, all right? We were back then alive, all right? And me or you die, all right? 3 to 4 generations after I died, I'd be back, all right? I would be back, all right? That wouldn't be my father. That same spirit, that was me, would be coming back. All right, and that's why it's when we teach this, the white people aren't bad anymore. Well, yes, they are, because there's those same spirits, the same ones that were whipping you, same ones that were sodomizing you, same ones that were feeding your babies to alligators, the same ones that were cannibalizing and doing all this weirdo shit. They are the same ones back now, just like the same people that said to the Lord, crucify him. They're back now. Okay, you get it? And we're not going to be able to go all thoroughly into this on this lesson, because that's so many lessons within a lesson. We already had one lesson inside this lesson, all right? But that's a little bit of a tangent to you. So if you want to learn more, you can just type in GMS reincarnation, all right? There's a lot. You learn from GMS, all right? Don't go to these other groups. Learn from GMS. Or if you learn from those other groups, you're gonna come back to GMS, and your mind's gonna be all fucked up, and you say, "Hey, can you help me? I don't understand." And then guess what? Depending, they might just say, "Nah, man, get out of here," because because a lot of the time when they say, and they'll explain it to you too, But the thing is, those other groups mess your mind up so bad you can't grasp it anymore. And really, that's Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai blocking your mind, clouding your mind, because you're like, well, I don't understand it. That's not what they said. And then at some point, the brother, the elder, all right, the apostles are going to say, just go ahead and get from around us, because obviously you ain't getting it, all right? You ain't getting it. Okay, and you say, that's unrighteous. You didn't help them. You didn't help them. That's wrong. No, if you're not getting it and you're over here arguing and battling, which a lot of the case is mostly the case when those brothers or sisters come over from those other groups. They come over and they don't ask a simple question, all right? They come over on the comment board and bug out, okay? If they answer a question, there's been many a brother and perhaps sister, all right, that have come over that say, hey, I used to be a part of IUIC, I used to be a part of Sakari, I used to be a part of so on and so forth, or what's the other one, WFI, all right, and hey, I've repented, all right, and I'm coming into this now, and I'm learning from you, I'm not going back. So, but there's also ones that say, I believe on Sakari on some parts, but why? Tell me why I should believe it. We ain't here to, not we, because I'm not part of GMS. I follow the doctrine of, I follow the elders and apostles from Great Millstone, but I'm not a part. But they're not gonna fix you, all right? They're not gonna come over and fix you, and even me, I'm not gonna fix you, all right? Even the people that the brothers that are following the doctrine of the apostles of Great Millstone, but aren't part of Great Millstone, they're not gonna help you either. All right, they're not gonna help you either. Why? Because it's pointless, dude. I'm not gonna sit here and argue if you're over here saying the sky is green. All right, I'm gonna tell you, hey, no, the sky is blue. Here's why it's blue. All right, and I'm moving on. But no, it's green. No, I'm not gonna keep on saying no, it's blue. No, it's green. It's blue. No, it's green. No, it's blue. No, it's green. We're not gonna do that all day. All right, it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. It's folly. But anyway, we're gonna get 1 Kings 9 and 6, and we're gonna go ahead and close out. All right. It says, But if ye shall at all turn from following me, or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, what's going to happen? Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. Okay, and at this house which is high, everyone that passeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss, and they shall say, why hath the Lord done thus unto this land and to this house? And they shall answer, because they forsook the Lord their power, who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them and served them. Therefore hath the Lord brought upon them all this evil. All right, and that's why we're in Babylon right now. That's because of what we were doing. All right, and again, if you're an Edomite or a Hamite or either other, you're not supposed to be sacrificing your baby regardless. Especially so if you're an Israelite, though. All right, especially so if you're an Israelite. Okay, why? Because that's a sin. All right, Israelites are the only nation that can sin, because sin is the transgression of the law, and the law is only given to Israel. Okay, and it's a sin. You're worshiping other God, which the Most High told you not to, so that's a sin. All right, it's murder, and that's a sin. All right, now the other nations, they're not supposed to be doing it either. All right, but they're wicked in general. It's not like they can repent from what they've done. All right, now they're still going to pay for that wickedness. All right, they're not going to get off scot-free just because, they're going to have a terrible destruction. All right, but especially so as Israelites, you're not supposed to be doing that. Especially if you're an Israelite in this truth. All right, especially if you're an Israelite in this truth. Okay, so there's something I want to touch on. Let me see. Let me see. I think that is it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I had to touch on. Just in time too. The batteries run a little low, but hey, that's all I really had to touch on. So regardless of if you're a Jake or a Edomite or a Hamite or an Ammonite, you're not supposed to be. Just because you have a child that ain't right doesn't mean you can sacrifice them and put them to death. All right, or pass them through the fire to Molech. That doesn't mean you can do that. All right, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't matter what nation you are. You're not supposed to be doing it. All right, it doesn't matter which nation you are. You're not supposed to be being a Mo. All right, it doesn't matter what nation you are. You're not supposed to be being an adulterer. All right, now, like I said, Jacob especially so. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You Israelites. All right, especially so. Why? Why? Because we're still under the law. All right. We are supposed to be higher standards. All right. We can be saved. They can't be saved. All right. And what we do when we do it is sin. All right. But guess what? You know what you can also do? You can repent from your transgressions, repent from your sin. The other nations can't do that. Now they're still going to be punished for what they do, for sacrificing their children, for the murders and the adultery. But it's not sin. All right. Because sin is transgression of the law. So especially so, Israelites, we are a holy nation. All right. We're supposed to be performing the righteous acts, all right, to the best of our ability. We're supposed to be, our goal is to offend less, not offend more, all right? So we're not supposed to be doing this, all right? No one's supposed to be doing this. This is a heathen custom, all right? It's wicked, all right? It was created by a woman that hated so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? And that's all that really should have to be said, all right? So just because they ain't right doesn't mean you can sacrifice your seed to Molech, all right? Let's change it. Instead of them. Just because they ain't right doesn't mean you can sacrifice your seed to Molech. Okay? So that's the official name of this lesson now. All right, Lord willing, it uploads. So with that's all I had to say. All right, through the Spirit. All right. Tawadi Halba Shemiao Shai, for the notes I was able to get as well. All right. Because there were some things that we grabbed that I didn't even have originally written down. All right, but through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai, we ended up getting those scriptures, and they're excellent scriptures. So hey, Thawadi Yahweh Shem Shai for that. So with that, we're gonna close out. All right, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. All right, got to give credit where credit's due. All right, shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Hey, keep enduring, keep the faith. All right, keep studying, keep watching lessons. Hey, we're almost out of here. All right, hey man, we're almost out of here. All right, so with that, we're gonna close out. All right, until the next one, Lord willing, shalom.